Hi folks, I hope that you guys are doing pretty well. So today is Saturday, the 23rd of August, 2025. And in today's video, it's just a heads up video to let you know that I'm working on Isaiah chapter 49, verses 1 to 26, which has promises for the millennial kingdom upon Jesus' second coming. Now, Isaiah chapter 49 is actually a very important chapter for advanced Bible scholars to know and to study it carefully. And so I decided to give it a serious look and a serious study. And so I began to decipher it already. Okay, now I should probably use some colorful highlights to make it more interesting, but I began here as a rough copy, but this is just a heads up to let you know that I'm into deciphering Isaiah chapter 49. Okay, so in the next few days I'll finish it off, and then I might do a couple of videos because we got 26 verses here, so I don't want to make a video too long for everyone. I will make the video rather perhaps two videos, with the full 26 verses. So now then, verse 1, listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken you, people from far. The Lord has called me from the womb, from the bells of my mother, he had mentioned of my name. So basically we got a bit of poetry here from Isaiah. Isaiah is very poetic. And so Isaiah is twice as hard to decipher because first we have to decipher the poem here and then the prophecy itself. So Isaiah makes it twice as hard to decipher him, That's why I actually like it because, you really got to think about it, So for my commentary here, I wrote down, this is a millennial kingdom prophecy. Jesus is calling now. That's right, Isles, listen, isles, unto me. So Jesus is calling out all the remnant Jewish people dispersed around the world in a poetic manner to come back to the womb, The Lord has called me from the womb, from the bells of my mother. So basically, what it's saying here, the womb basically is Jesus. It's Jesus using Isaiah here in a poetic manner to say to the Jewish people, come back to the womb, in other words, to the motherland of Israel, okay? So all the Jewish people that are dispersed around the world, Jesus is calling them to come back, to the motherland. Don't forget that your womb, you Israelites, your motherland is in Israel, okay? So this prophecy can be linked to Isaiah 51, verse 1. Hearken to me, you that follow after righteousness, you that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence you are hewn, and to the hide of the pit whence you are dig. So incredibly, it's also linked to Isaiah 55:11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereunto I sent it. Now, I'm sure that this prophecy here in Isaiah 55:11, that many Bible scholars will have missed, okay, in linking it to this prophecy here on this verse 1. And in fact it belongs in here because it's a millennial kingdom prophecy. It is also linked to Isaiah 56:8, Isaiah 60 chapter 1, etc., etc. See also Jeremiah 33 verse 7, and I will cause the captivity of Judah and the captivity of Israel to return, and will build them as at first. So all these prophecies here belong to this verse here, 1 in Isaiah 49 verse 1, okay? Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is Isaiah 51 verse 1. It says, hearken to me, you that follow after righteousness, you that seek the Lord. Look unto the rock whence you are hewn, and to the height of the pit whence you are digged. Now, this prophecy is actually linked to this verse 1 because don't forget that you that follow after righteousness, this also is an indicator of those of the Jewish people that might have flew into the millennial kingdom, according to Zechariah chapter 13, that 1/3 will make it through, those living in the land, So it's also to do with that, those that follow after righteousness. So it's actually linked to that prophecy in Zechariah 13:9, those that might the fruit that have follow after righteousness, hearken unto me, you that follow after righteousness. In other words, because it's Isaiah 51 verse 1 is a millennial kingdom prophecy, those that might the fruit, then Jesus is saying, hearken unto me, listen to me, you might the fruit because of your righteousness, seek the Lord, okay? And the Lord, of course, is a rock. And don't forget also, this Isaiah 55:11, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth, it shall not return unto me void. This belongs into this verse here too, on this verse 1 of Isaiah 41:1, because, and many Bible scholars like I wrote down here who have missed this. Like I said here, many Bible scholars who have missed this prophecy of Isaiah 51:11, because Jesus is making a declaration, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. And because he's making a declaration in here, listen to me, O isles, hearken unto me, you the Jewish people that are, out there in diaspora, come back to me, come back to your motherland, So this prophecy of Isaiah 51:11 also belongs to this verse 1 here, okay? You're going to do a lot of deep analytical thinking, Now verse 2, and he hath made my mouth like a sharp sword, in the shadow of his hand hath he hid me, and made me a polished shaft, in his quiver hath he hid me. So commentary, this of course is another rather poetic language in this prophecy, which is saying that when Jesus returns for his second coming, okay, he's going to make the Jewish people very sharp-minded, and at the same time, the Jewish people will be very polished and sophisticated in their manners. Now, why is this? Why is it that God is going to make the Jewish people a polished shaft, and of his hand he had him? Now, of course, this is also related to all the Jewish people that make it through into the millennial kingdom. Of course, according to Zechariah chapter 13, that third that makes it through. And also all those that are, were taken prisoners, after the abomination of desolation, according to Luke chapter 21, verses 20 to 24. Those that, are in diaspora over there will be coming back, and that will be part of, Jesus' quiver, if you like, the polished shaft in which Jesus is hiding them, in his quiver, if you like. So the reason that why Jesus is making them, the Jewish people, very polished and sophisticated, is that's going to happen. He's going to make them sophisticated and polished because Jesus is going to take away all the sins. Do you see? And because Jesus is going to take away all the sins, the Jewish people will be polished and sophisticated in the quiver of God. Okay. So this prophecy here is because Jesus, the fact that the Jewish people will be polished and sophisticated, is because Jesus is going to take away all the sins and ungodliness from Jacob, as per Romans 11:26 and Zephaniah 3:13, etc. This will be the end result, okay, as to how the Jewish people will be a polished shaft. Now, this will be the end result, if you like, of the Jewish people being sharp, sinless, because God is going to take away the ungodliness, and well-polished people, like it says here, on verse 2. Now, this prophecy can be linked also to Isaiah 54:13, and it reads, and all thy children shall be taught of the Lord, and great shall be the peace of thy children. Now, if you think about it, the reason that is linked to Isaiah 54:13, because if all the children, if all the Jewish people will be taught of the Lord, what does that mean? Being taught of the Lord will also allow the Jewish people to be well-refined people in the eyes of the Lord and the Gentile nations in the millennial kingdom. Okay, that's why the Jewish people are going to be a polished shaft in the quiver of Jesus. Okay. As a result of this, you can then link this prophecy to Zechariah 8:23, In those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, We will go with you, for we have heard that God is with you. See? Now, why is it that, the nations are going to take hold of the skirt of a Jew, saying, We want to come with you because we know that God is with you? It's because the Jewish people have been polished, okay? God has taken away their sins according to Romans 11:26, and now the Jewish people are sinless, they are sharp and polished, okay? That's why the nations will be taking they're going to be taking off the skirt of him that is a Jew, okay? Now, this prophecy is also linked to Isaiah 62 verse 3, and it reads, Thou shalt be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a royal diadem in the hand of thy God. After, of course, if you think about this prophecy, the Jewish people will be a crown of glory and a royal diadem in the hand of their God. Why is this? Because of all these prophecies, that Jesus is going to take away the sins. Jesus is going to teach the Jewish people his ways, his new covenant, his statutes, and so on. And they're going to be a polished shaft in the quiver of Jesus. Okay? So that's why this prophecy of Isaiah 62 verse 3 belongs as part of this verse 2, because the Jewish people will be a kind of glory in the hand of the Lord and a royal diadem in the hand of thy God. Okay? There's more prophecies too, but I'm just giving you the basic idea, Now, verse 3 here is work in progress. I haven't finished it yet, but just a little heads up here. Verse 3, it reads, And said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel, in whom I will be glorified. Okay, so I put here my commentary. This is a millennial kingdom prophecy. Jesus is coming back to Israel to be the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Okay, Revelation 19:16. And he had on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Of course, there's more prophecies. I haven't finished that with it yet. I gotta put some more, but I'm working on it. So in verse 3, it says here, and said unto me, Thou art my servant, O Israel. Exactly. And I will be glorified. Now, when Jesus comes back, he's going to be the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And this prophecy is linked to this verse 3 because Jesus is going to be glorified, because he's going to be the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, So Jesus is going to be glorified, and Israel will glorify Jesus. Now, there's more prophecies, of course. This is just work in progress. I haven't finished that yet. Give me a few days. I will probably do 2 videos to finish it all. But I would suggest to all advanced Bible scholars, make sure that you study this Isaiah 49, because it's actually a very important one. And there's a prophecy here about Senim, which I think is China. And I'm so looking forward to deciphering all this chapter, even for my own sake, I'm just so looking forward to deciphering and learning as much as I can from this biblical deciphering, I highly recommend the advanced Bible scholars decipher this for yourselves, Isaiah chapter 49, because it's one of those chapters in the Bible of high interest, that you need to know this, especially if you're an advanced Bible scholars. All right, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.